Today we're going to see a conversation none of us could have imagined. So Vegan Gains, the guy who does, vegan debates and stuff like that, he's been on my channel, decided to go on FitxFearless's show and ask him for dating advice after he got divorced. And yes, this is not a joke. So let's see what kind of advice Fit has to say.
How's it going, man?
Hey, good, thanks.
Where you calling from?
Canada.
Okay. How can I help you?
So I've had interesting, I don't know what this, I have no idea what that was. Well, I've had an interesting few years. I got married when I think I was 23, 24. I was dating my wife for about a year before we got married, and we just recently decided to separate. And I'm not hurt about it. The relationship kind of ran its course. I learned a lot from the whole experience. I kind of learned that people are the way they are. If you kind of notice, even with younger women, like there's this idea that you can kind of mold them into what you want to be. People are the way they are. And women kind of play these games where they'll act as though they have kind of interest in your...
He's completely correct about this, actually. So this goes directly against what FitxFearless and all these regulars believe, is that you can mold a woman. You just take this 18-year-old fresh virgin, maybe if you're Sneeko, she could be 15, right? And then you just mold her into the woman, into the housewife she was always meant to be. But the thing is that people don't really change unless they really want to change, which most of the time they don't. People are pretty complacent. People are stuck in their ways, and you're not going to mold a girl into being the girl you want to be. She's either already that or she's not, right? And Vegan Gains is correct here.
Type of hobbies and kind of act as though, oh yeah, I want to like ride bikes with you or something. I'm big into motorcycles. And then it turns out once you're married and once they realize like, okay, things are locked in, they get very complacent. And I think that's part of why the relationship kind of failed. It was kind of doomed from the beginning, and we just weren't kind of perfect for each other. And yeah, I think being in that kind of...
So I've been in a relationship for about 4-ish years now. Depends on how you want to start it, when we were fuck buddies. But I've known my current girlfriend for over 5 years. And yes, I understand sometimes people do get complacent. But that's why we have conversations about this. We say, okay, listen, we're both kind of being lazy today. Let's do something fun, right? Let's switch things up, right? So I think this can be very easily resolved with good communication.
Situation where you're married, and there's a pretty good certainty that you can't just walk out. If things aren't kind of going the way you want them to go, you can't say, I think we're going to part ways. I'm just going to date somebody else. And that kind of makes women complacent. And I've learned marriage is just a bad idea for men. My divorce definitely isn't going poorly. She's not like a terrible person or anything. It was an amicable breakup. So I don't have to pay like alimony. I haven't lost like half my money or anything. So things are going good.
If I had to guess, is that he got married pretty young, much too young than he should have, and he didn't know the girl for a while. Maybe he dated her for a year, maybe he dated her for 2 years, but he got married too fast. In my opinion, you should date a girl for at least half a decade before marrying her, unless you're a trad con, your goal is just to basically pump out a bunch of babies, in which case I guess it doesn't matter since all you care about is just having babies, right? But yeah, I think you should know the girl for a significant period of time. You should even try living together before you get married, right? Like you really, really want to explore, make sure you guys are right for each other, right? And I do agree that generally speaking, marriage is a bad deal for men. I think it can also be a bad deal for women sometimes. I just don't really see the point of like getting the government involved. The only exception is if you're having a kid, in which case I do think it's probably good to get married because you want to have that extra commitment just for the child. But aside from that, if you're not having children, I don't really see the point of getting married.
As far as life goes, I'm making good money and I get to keep more of my money because I don't have to support my wife anymore. She's got her own place now. So, yeah, the only thing I kind of wanted to ask you about was like maybe some stuff on hair and some fashion tips, because two things I'm not great with is fashion. I think I look pretty good when I go out on my motorcycles because I am into like motorcycle fashion. Girls always, when I like pull up at a gas station or, when I'm stopping at a restaurant or something, I get a lot of compliments from women saying, oh, your bike looks really nice, or I really like your jacket. But I have no freaking idea, like, I don't know, normal people clothes. And I don't know if you could give me any advice on like hair. My thing here is like kind of...
Okay.
I'm just curious, why would you come to like here for that? Like there's plenty of resources for both. Just type in like fashion guide on YouTube or how to, grow your hair, what to do when you're losing hair, right? There's like easy answers. Like, I don't know. This is like 101 type of shit. And I don't know if I would go on like a show to ask these like super duper basic questions.
But listen, before we get to that, the looks maxing stuff is surface level things that you can change, right? But we got to talk about the marriage because that's going to play a huge role into
Sure.
your future relationships. So guys try to like gloss over that. So number one, I always tell guys, right? I say before she even becomes your girlfriend, you got to date her for 2 years. And then guys call me crazy.
I think
And then
that's-
No, he's correct here. I can't believe I'm actually agreeing with him, but he's right.
this
I
kind of
think that's
stuff.
sensible.
Yeah. So you were dating her for a year, and then you married her within a year.
Yeah, some of that had to do with it being a long distance relationship at the beginning.
Why
She
was
was
it a
from
long
Belgium.
distance?
Already a fuck up. Yeah, I can't believe I'm more in FitxFearless side here. But yeah, no fucking long distance relationships. Look, like if your girlfriend's gone for like a month on a work trip or something like that, or whatever, visiting family or whatever, that's fine. That's not a big deal. But when it gets anything past a month, right? Yeah, no, you don't want to go down that road.
From Canada.
Why were you in a long distance relationship?
Well, I actually am diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. So there's very few people that I'm genuinely interested in. If I were to do everything,
Antisocial personality disorder is like the stuff that like serial killers have. Like that's the stuff like Ted Bundy was diagnosed with. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat here, but that's like serial killer type of shit. I'm sure it doesn't always manifest like that, but I thought he was trying to get at like autism or something like that, but okay, that's interesting.
all over again, knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't have bothered, but I don't regret the relationship. I learned a lot. I grew a lot as a person, and I think some of the really good things that have happened to me were due to that particular relationship. So I don't regret anything, but yeah, knowing what I know now, unless like there's very, unusual circumstances, I definitely wouldn't, date a foreign woman again, just because like it's a huge hassle.
Gotcha.
Foreign woman. Okay, so this can come in two flavors. Is she like a U.S. citizen who immigrated here when she was a kid? Or was she like literally living in a different country and then you import her over here? Just the whole import a hoe thing, which again, some guys fantasize about, is the worst idea ever, right? Now look, if you're traveling through Latin America and you meet an awesome girl, right? Yeah, maybe that's one thing. But you're just living in America and you start chatting with some random girl overseas and then you like import her. Worst idea ever. Almost always fails, and he's lucky that she was actually one of the good ones that didn't take all his money.
Okay, so don't get into long distance relationships.
Yeah.
Number one, date the woman for at least 2 years before you even make her your girlfriend, because you need to see who she really is as a person.
2 years. So do you mean like live-in girlfriend, or like what do you mean by that?
No, like she's my she has to be part of my rotation for 2 years for me to deem her a girlfriend material.
Well, that's for you personally.
That is a bit extreme. Now, to be fair, me and Natty were hooking up for close to 2 years before we started dating, maybe like right about that. So, yeah, but with other girlfriends I've had, maybe we'd hook up for 3, 4, 5 months. But look, the one thing the underlying principle is that you want to start off casual. That is 100%. I will die on this hill. This is just so much better for a relationship. Start off casual. You can always go from casual to serious, but you can never go from serious to casual. Start off casual, feel out her vibe, just get to know her for months and months and months and months, right? You can always, ask her out later to be your girlfriend, but you can never do it the other way, right? So I think he's got the right premise, but 2 years of being part of a rotation does seem kind of extreme. And I think that would be a deal breaker for some girls.
Like again, I actually have diagnosed antisocial personality disorder. There are very few people I'm actually interested in. Like, I love sex, I love women, but dealing with these kind of...
I'm kind of speaking outside my realm because I'm not a psychologist, but I also feel like he's might be like using this as a little bit of an excuse, right? He's already mentioned it twice. Like, look, I much respect to people who have whatever mental conditions, right? Like, I understand that it can be, massive struggle. I get all that, right? But like, what's the point of bringing it up multiple times? Like, the argument he's trying to make is that, well, I get along with very few people, but that's fine. I mean, I'm compatible with very few people, right? But that's why you go out and you sleep with a lot of girls and you find one that you really vibe with, right? That's kind of like the positive way of interpreting that, I connect with very few people, right? I'm in the same exact category, right? But we just act on it totally differently.
The annoying personalities.
Who said you had to know? I didn't say you had to deal with annoying personalities. Even if
you do to some extent. You do to some extent.
Okay, hold up. You found one girl that you liked, right?
Yeah.
You dealt with her for how many years?
We were married, I think it's been, I'm 33 now. I think we got married when I was 24. So it's been like 9 years.
Got you. So you found one girl that you liked and you stuck with her for 9 years. I guarantee you, bro, there's more than one.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is you could have avoided all of this, whether you have personality disorder or not. Being more patient with your dating life and picking the best woman. Not saying you got to go sleep around. Not saying that you got to go date 50 girls. 1 or 2 girls, no more than 3, that you are consistently dating over a long period of time before you pick the one that you consider your girlfriend.
He's not wrong here about, I mean, except for consistently dating before she made girlfriend. I almost look at it a little bit differently. I almost like the same underlying logic is I'll hook up with a bunch of girls. I'll hook up with like, I don't know, like 20, 30, 40, 50 girls. Like, let's say I was about to, you know, our relationship just very tragically ended, right? Very sad, right? You know, I'm over it, right? I'm back to start dating. I would hook up with, you know, dozens and dozens of girls. And then, you know, a few of them I would like enough to see multiple times, right? And then out of those, you know, probably at some point I would just, it was kind of start to narrow down. But I wouldn't date like 2 or 3 of them for a date, whatever, see them for like 2 years, right? And that seems a little much. It would just kind of like, it's like a pyramid, and it would just like kind of trickle down, you know, just the more time goes on, I'm like, okay, this girl has this, I'm gonna keep hanging out with her, right? Or maybe it doesn't work out, so I go back to just like, you know, I'm probably fucking new girls the whole time anyway, but I just find that kind of system works the best.
Because it saves you from all of this stuff. All I'm trying to do is
1 to 2 years of like a casual thing.
But it's not, hold up. It's not just, oh, she comes over and we fuck. No, we actually date. So your rotation girls, you actually date. They're not girls that just come over and then you actually date them.
He's just using the word differently than Vegan Gains is. Like, when Vegan Gains, and I think most people use the word date, they mean like being a serious, committed relationship, right? Unless you're polyamorous, whatever, then you can make an exception. But generally talking about being a serious, committed relationship, right? Versus, I think Fit is talking about more like just like having fuck buddies that you do things with and you guys enjoy each other's company. But that's not the same as being like a serious, committed relationship.
I'm not particularly familiar with this concept, and
Gotcha.
I think I'm kind of unusual in the sense because usually when I meet girls, the first thing on my mind isn't how will I like make them my girlfriend, get them into bed as quickly as possible. I actually have very low interest in people when I first meet them, and they kind of have to prove themselves to me that, you know, they're relatively intelligent, they share similar interests, they're just kind of a cool, chill person, and like there's just chemistry there. And a lot of women actually want to make moves really quickly, at least compared to my standards. So they kind of want to get the relationship thing started pretty quickly, like by, you know, second, third date or something. Like they really want, you know, they want me. But for me, like that can take, you know, 2, 3, 4 months for me to really feel comfortable enough with them where, okay, I know who they are. I know kind of where they're at mentally. And then like, that's when the actual romantic interest starts to build. I don't know if that dating strategy, like dating, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 girls at once. I don't know, like, I don't know if that would really work for me, but I like that's totally
it doesn't have to work for you. I just gave a suggestion. If you don't want to try it, then no problem. I would just say, just be more mindful with the people that you plan on dating. Now, let me see the hair.
I love the transition. Okay, yeah, you know, just want to be more mindful of the girls you keep drinking. Let me see the hair. That transition was perfect.
Headphones. All right. So I would say you probably look better with more hair on your head. Right?
Yeah, no fucking shit. So do 99% of people.
Just so you can have something you can style it with.
Okay.
In terms of fat,
His haircut is just like weird. It's just like the lazy. And I'm talking about Vegan Gains. It's just like such a like lazy. Like he probably goes to the barber like once every 3 months or something like that. Just like a lazy cut. Like what he needs to do is he needs to grow out his hair in the front, get a skin fade or a regular fade, like line up his beard nicely. Also, I'll point out, this is something that I've observed, is there's something called the mustache to beard ratio. So basically you want your beard to be thicker than the mustache. And most people have it the other way, including Vegan Gains. You can see his mustache is more defined than his beard, right? And then you want it to be the opposite.
You got to pick a style that works for you, but you got to have that formal look as well. Like you should be able to put together a nice 3-piece suit, nice collared shirts, right? Nice dress pants, loafers, but you can also have that biker look, biker style too. That's part of it.
I'm the last person talking about fashion, but like Vegan Gains seems like he just takes being a slob to a whole new level. Like just wear, like he's pretty jacked. Like fucking wear shirts that fit you well, sit on your body well. Don't wear super loose shirts, and you already did like half the battle.
doesn't have to just be, oh, I'm a biker and that's the only thing that I got going for myself. I can switch it up based on the location, based on where I'm going, so I can look pretty decent. All right.
Yeah, I have not gotten a suit since I was probably 16, 17 when I was doing photography.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a while since I've actually owned any, suits.
Okay.
Or any
I don't actually think you need a suit. Although suit photos can be really good for Tinder, but just in general, in terms of like every day, like, yeah, I have a suit, 2 suits that sometimes I can wear, but I never actually do, right? But I think you just need like nice clothes. Like, by the way, just here's a little pro tip. If you guys want good quality shirts, you don't mind paying a little bit extra, go to cutsclothing.com. That's the shirt I'm wearing right now. I just wear all their shit. For pants, I usually do Zara or H&M maybe.
Link for you and everybody else in the chat. It's my fashion ebook, right? How to make yourself look attractive and use your looks, your fashion as status, right? It's called my 7 F-Boy frameworks. All right. I'm gonna put it in the chat and I got to get going. Okay, bro?
Okay. Oh yeah. And by the way, I'm Vegan Gains on YouTube. Not sure if you're familiar with me, but yeah, a lot of people are.
Why didn't it start with that? Like, I think, yeah, I wonder if, I don't think he knew that he was talking to like a relatively big YouTuber.
Pointing out in the chat. So
awesome, man.
I've watched you for a little while. Like, obviously I have some disagreements with some of your stuff here and there, but I actually like your content and I appreciate you actually encouraging men to, up their game, be more motivated and shit. So good work, dude.
Appreciate you, man.
This was the most anticlimactic conversation ever. It was just like, yeah, got this marriage, just broke up. It's all good. It's all chill. Like, it feels like Vegan Gains, just observation, is very like flat emotionally. And I can relate to this because I'm relatively flat, but like he's like super flat. Like there's no ups and downs at all, which by the way can give you a disadvantage when it comes to dating. Like you don't want to be just too much of like a robot. It's good to be like just chill and stoic, but you don't want to have that just kind of like, I'm a robot, I feel no emotions. We got Luna joining us for the video. But yeah, so I think that like I don't know what to say. Like, I think I'm surprised, but I agree with pretty much everything FitX said, with the exception of, I guess, the whole 2-year rotation thing. I already kind of gave my thoughts on that. But I think if I was in Vegan Gains shoes right now, what would I do? Well, first of all, I would, totally up his fashion, like get some form-fitting shirts, throw out all these fucking stupid baggy shirts that he has, completely throw them out, get a fresh haircut, like actually get like a nice fade, probably start working on a hair care routine so he can grow it out longer. I'm sure he's probably having some male pattern boredomness. It's hard to tell with just the way the angle, but just kind of growing out his hair a little bit. There's a million things you can do for that. And then also just start going out and doing some cold approach. Like learning how to interact with strangers in real life can be massively beneficial. Right? I feel like he probably really would struggle with that. Aside from like, I guess, meeting girls while he's on his motorcycle at the gas station. So kind of doing stuff like that. Maybe getting some hobbies, so you can meet girls through whatever the fuck he's into. I guess he's into motorcycles, which is 99% dudes. But maybe he can get into like fucking yoga or something like that, or CrossFit, or whatever the fuck it is. I'm sure there's gonna be something else he likes besides vegan food and motorcycles. Actually, vegan conventions and stuff like that is gonna be like 70-80% girls. So yeah, that's a good start. So that's what I would do. I'd probably hit it like that. I'd probably start, just hooking up with multiple girls, just kind of feeling out, and just really let things develop naturally. Just not rush into a relationship. All right, hope you guys found this video valuable. And now time for me to plug my ebook. It's free and it'll show you how to actually meet girls. So it's the ultimate Tinder guide. Link is going to be in description. Shows you how to get really good photos so Vegan Gains can actually like look like he's actually presentable. Shows you how to write the kind of bio that makes you stand out. So you can talk about his motorcycle obsession and girls might actually vibe with that. And of course, text games. So you take all those motorcycle leads he's going to meet and turn them into dates. And of course, you can use it for whatever type of girls you want. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.